Hello and welcome to episode number 48 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is why more knowledge is doing you damage. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Now, I, for one, am going to put my hand up and be the first to admit that I was a guy completely obsessed with consuming information for a long period of time. Back in 2013, 14, 15, even 16, even sometimes now I do feel as though I don't know enough. And the best way to feed this addiction is to go out and learn more. And what I realized over time was that as I learned more and I learned more and I learned more, it became harder and harder for me to take action. Okay, it's almost, knowledge is one of those things where it's a double-edged sword, okay? Now, why I'm saying this is because I see so many personal trainers. I was in a consult the other day with a guy who literally knew everything. He was the smartest cook in the world, and he's one of the guys inside a mastermind group who I'm going to be spending a time with, and we had a chat. And you know, I'd been speaking to him about what I'd done in the last few months, and to him, it seemed like the biggest thing ever because he's like, wow, Lynn, that's awesome. And he was able to give me a lot of strategies and a lot of techniques and a lot of tactics to take it even further. But when it came time to me turning the tables and me coaching him, I'd almost ask, well, what have you done? What have you done in the last, 30 days, in the last 60 days, in the last 90 days? And for him, it was, compared to what he gave me in value for himself, he had done very, very little. And this thing called knowledge that everybody is seeking and everyone feels that is so valuable and everyone loves to consume because we have this, inner confliction to go out and learn more if we don't know enough was really holding him back, because for a long time he was in the internet marketing space and he's running a digital agency, and for a long time he kept feeling the need to learn more and learn more and learn more. But the fact is, he forgot to put out more content. He forgot to give more. And so what happens, and I talked about this in one of the previous episodes, is that when we fall in line and we feel as though we don't have enough, okay, when we feel as though we're living in this scarce space, and this scarce space is we don't have enough, we don't know enough, we don't have enough money, we're always going to be consumers, okay? And if you're a consumer, what generally happens is nothing ever good happens from consuming, apart from consuming, right? The fact that you took the knowledge. And I think he's gotten to the point where he's just absorbed so much now that because he hasn't taken action, because he hasn't done anything with it, that muscle, that action-taking muscle has become completely shut off, okay? And it is a muscle. You need to train yourself to take action. And whilst I'm not dissing knowledge, I'm all for learning and I'm all for growing, but at the same time, I'm more for doing. Because in this moment, in this time, in this space, what I've realized as we become more and more consumed in the information age, way beyond the information age, is that action is the key. Okay, and what I'm finding within myself, what I'm finding within the personal trainers that I talk to, what I'm finding within the clients that they talk to is that they can have all the knowledge in the world. You can give them all the information, but they will still sit on their ass and do nothing with it. Okay, and what I mean by this is, I gave this coaching client of mine everything. I gave him everything. I said, look, I'm going to do it for you. And even as we did it for him, he was paralyzed because he just didn't want it anymore. He didn't have that belief, okay? And so what I'm trying to tell you right now, especially in this podcast episode, because I think it's so crucial, is that if you're the type of person that feels as though you don't know enough, if you're the type of person that you feel as though you're not doing enough, okay, but every time you feel as though, wow, you need to do something, and then you go consuming more information, it becomes an addiction. And what you're doing is you're essentially suppressing this action-taking ability you have, this ability for you to go out there and give value and share your knowledge to the world. Okay. And why I'm telling you this is I'm not telling you to put out more content. Content isn't what the world needs. Okay, you and I both know content is available elsewhere. Someone can go on YouTube, someone can go on Google and Google the content. What I'm trying to tell you is you have to put out your knowledge in such a way where people can actually consume it and they're motivated to take action. Okay, things like a daily action podcast like this, right? Where I've had plenty of trainers tell me, Lynn, this is a really, really good podcast because I talk about a lot of the mindset and the foundation, but I talk about the strategies around it as well. But the thing is, I break it down down to one task. And if you complete that task, you're going to move your business forward. Okay. And that's how, people who are teaching now, and that's the model that people are moving towards teaching information. It's not actually, we get over consuming information first. We need to get over that hurdle. Okay. And if you find yourself stuck in there, you need to stop right at this moment in time. You need to stop, because if you want true knowledge, and this is the key, if your value is to grow and become, a wealth of information, you know that this is completely true. You don't really know what you know until you've taught it and until you've seen a result from it. Okay. Because here's the key. Theory is all well and good, but we know that practicals trump theory any day of the week. We know that the practical side of things, the practical side of getting into shape will always beat the theoretical side of getting into shape, because the theory is just theory. Okay. It's a great baseline to start out from, but what you need to go out in there to do is to implement it and to see results, to validate it for yourself so that you can feel it inside your nervous system. And if you do that and you do it more and you just take action no matter what, okay? Because sometimes I don't feel like doing these podcast episodes, but because I've been doing them for so long, because I've gone past that 30-day mark, it becomes habit no matter what. And I've trained myself to take action regardless of the state I'm in. And if you can do that, if you can set up your habits and you can set up your foundation to be on that autopilot, you're going to succeed. Okay. Because this one key thing in taking action and moving forward is by saying, look, you need to put aside the knowledge. It's great to read stuff, but the best way to do it is to learn and then to share. Okay. You always want to be learning and you want to be sharing, but you want to always be sharing more than you learn. And that is the key to really deliver content, to be positioned as the expert, but also to overcome fear. Because right now I can tell you, I really, really want to tell you this, that there are so many people out there who have amazing knowledge. Just like my friend in the mastermind group, that he can come into my business and talk to me at this deep, intricate level where he can break down my business to give me 14, 15, 100 different action steps to grow. And yet when I've asked him what he's done for his business, he hasn't grown at all. And he's stuck and he's paralyzed because all he wants to do is keep learning, because that's what makes him feel good. And that's his comfort zone. And we know this. And I'm not really here to point out any cliches to you, because you grow out of your comfort zone. So whatever that thing that you're scared of doing, whether it's putting yourself out there, whether it's being consistent, you need to ask yourself, is this going to make me grow? Is this bringing me towards my goals? Okay. And for a lot of people, you just need to do the work. You need to put yourself out there and you need to follow through on what you say. Okay. So rather than learning things, knowledge, the more you know, the harder it is to take action. Okay. Because what happens is now you know too much, and in your brain, you've got 100 different roadmaps on how you can grow your business, right? Your clients have 100,000 different ways on how they can get into shape. Okay. And so what you need to do is you need to stop learning and you need to start doing, and you need to start proving that to yourself, because you have to think about it. If you make this whole process too complicated, and if you don't do, but you keep learning about the different strategies to grow your business, there are only a few strategies to really grow your business. That is, number one, get more clients, right? Number two, get more clients to buy more often, okay? Number three, get your clients to pay more. Those are the only three strategies to really grow your business. And everything else is a subset of that. And what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is that if you're consuming more than you're sharing, you're not using that action-taking muscle. Okay? And that action-taking muscle is the difference between you succeeding and you not succeeding. It's the difference between you being the other personal trainer and you getting to the finish line and them just staring at your shoes. Okay? And why I want to share this with you today is because I think it's so fundamental that you stop learning and that you implement. So if you're listening to these podcast shows daily and you haven't implemented, you might ask yourself, okay, well, what's your business like? Then I can guarantee that if you started implementing, you did 7 days of it. And if you will need to go back to 7 days of these podcasts and take the action steps and then see what changes you make in your business, it's going to be drastic. It's going to be the difference between night and day. Okay? Because I know most of you here. If you're listening to this, you're probably 70% on that side that doesn't implement, and that's fine. And I know because that was me. But when I wasn't implementing, my business never grew, because it's nice to sit in the car and listen to this, right? But it's uncomfortable to go in and do what Lynn says and to implement the work. Because what I'm trying to tell you to do is I'm trying to get you to surpass yourself. I'm trying to get you to become the best version of yourself. I'm trying to get all the information that you currently have stashed in your head. Information that people are paying you for, to really get out there and actually start affecting more people. Because the more people you help, right, the more problems you solve, the more you'll get paid. And unfortunately, the people that don't get paid aren't solving any problems. They're not fixing anything. Then people, they're not creating anything worth paying for. And if you want to have that freedom, if you want to have that success, all right, this podcast show isn't here to help you get a client. It's here to help you build legacy. It's here to help you overcome all your limiting beliefs and grow as a person, okay? Because you need to grow. Because you have to think about this. Think about you at this very moment in time and what person you are and what business you run. And then think about who you need to be if you're going to run a multi-million-dollar business. You're not going to be the same person. It's like this, all right? If you were to swap bodies with Richard Branson, and Richard Branson had all your resources, he was in your body at this moment in time, what do you think your life would be like in 6 months when you came back and you swapped bodies back? Do you think you'd have more businesses open? Do you think you'd have more friends, more networking opportunities? Do you think you would have created more products, more services? Okay? If Richard Branson was in your mind, had everything you had, right? And I can guarantee you that if you were in Richard Branson's mind at the moment, his life would suck because he'd come back and he's like, well, what's going on? Where's all these things done? Nothing was ever implemented. And so what I want you to do is that I want you to understand that you have everything you need at this moment in time to succeed. You don't need anything more. And what's keeping you from succeeding is actually taking that action step to produce, okay, to go out there and put yourself out there. And that's the hardest thing, but what you need to understand, this one key crucial thing that I really understood is that nobody cares about you. Everybody cares about themselves. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's judging you. You might get people saying one or two things about you, but over time you show up enough, they'll stop. They will stop saying stuff about you when you show up enough. But if you fail, if you show up five days and that's it, and you quit, they're going to talk about you. Of course they're going to laugh about you. That was silly. But if you show up for 50 days and you keep going, it's going to become habitual to them that they just expect it. And then it becomes normal again. And that's what I want you to understand, that I don't want you to have fear in taking action. Okay, and this is completely a whole other topic, but the first step is to start using that muscle that you've suppressed for so long, which is that action-taking muscle, and you need to just do the work. Because there are so many people out there that are wishful, that want things to happen, but they're not ready to do the work. And you know why? We're starting to see more and more people, because the internet and social media and Facebook has created such a low barrier to entry that nobody, right? Most of the people I see, they're out there and they're half serious, and they're not even serious. They're wishful thinking, but they're not ready to be resourceful. They're asking really stupid questions. They're getting hammered by beliefs like, I don't know how to run Facebook ads. Well, if that's the belief you have and that's the statement you have, you'll never know how to run Facebook ads. Okay? So I want you to go out there today and I want you to completely dominate. I want you to stop learning. I want you to stop learning. I want you to start implementing. If you haven't already, today's task is this. If you haven't implemented, go and listen to the last 7 podcast episodes and implement that every single day. Make one a day and implement it and make that your goal. Because I can tell you right now, your business is not where it wants to be. Okay, your growth is not where it wants to be because you've been listening to this without taking any action. And why I'm doing this is because I am sick of all the information out there. I really am. I want to see your success. I want to see you come to me in a year, in 6 months, in 3 months and say, Lynn, this podcast, this group, this movement changed my life. It changed the way I looked at business. It changed my thinking. I'm changing as a person because of this. And that's the biggest kicker. I don't want you to come to me in 3 months. I don't want you to come to me in 6 months. I don't want you to come to me in 12 months and tell me, oh, Lynn, that was really insightful. I'm like, so what? Did you do anything? Did it change your life? No. Okay, well, that was a waste. That was a waste of my time. That was a waste of your time listening. And so your number one task for today, really, please, if you can do anything to help grow your business now and implement, is to go and listen every single day for the next 7 days to the previous episodes and implement those tasks. Okay, and watch your business change. It's 7 days, and I urge you to join this 7-day challenge to go pick 7 episodes, implement 7 things, and watch your business change. Because real business isn't changing because it's not the fact that you don't have the right strategies or the right tools or the right tactics or the right Facebook ads, right? Your business isn't changing because you're not implementing, you're not doing anything about it. Okay, and the first sign of failure, you give up. That's why it's not changing. And so I say this because whatever I say and I'm teaching, I'm also learning myself. And in learning and teaching and educating, that's when you really grow. So that's what I want for you. Go and do that. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you on the next podcast episode. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.